how do we combat the enabling lies of, America is at stake, the church is at stake, our children are at stake? Someone just tweeted me after one of my tweets yesterday and said, well, what are you going to say when conservative Christians start losing their children? And I just replied to him and said, to what? Rock and roll? I mean, what's the thing that's going to come and take our children? And he never, help me out here, fella. Is it the child snatcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? What's coming down the pike that I don't know about?
It's critical
She
race
doesn't know
theory.
that reference.
Disney. We talked about Disney last week. This is short. I don't want to get into this long. Unearthed a behind the scenes, actually an internal recording, like a Zoom call recording from a meeting at Disney.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background, I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud of them. But I just was no one would stop me and no one was trying to stop me.
To be openly bragging about pushing an agenda. And let's face it,
that
whatever
was
percentage.
internal. That was internal.
But even that, even internally, that's pretty stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So I find the whole thing intriguing.
At least from when I was raising kids, in a strange way, Disney was this safe space, sort of like VeggieTales. There wasn't a thought back then necessarily that it was this political company pushing an agenda.
I think a lot of the assumption coming from the left, the assumption that sexual identity, gender identity, sexual orientation, all of it, that whole package of stuff is all nature, not nurture, right? It's all intrinsic to who a person is when they are born. This is why I'm saying it's controversial, because I'm not trying to say either or. It's really both and it's very complicated. But that means that this move on a part of a Disney to say we want a significant portion of our characters to be sexual minorities, that has some impact on our culture. And it's going to have some impact on some children who are questioning these things. So it's not a matter of just, like in the case of race, of let's have African Americans represented or Asian Americans or Latinos or whatever, because those are immutable qualities. Whereas sexual identity and orientation is a spectrum. Some of it is immutable, some of it is mutable. And that means it's impacted by things like this. And that's where I think some people on the right have legitimate concerns here.
We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. We're coming for them. We're coming for your children.
What are you going to say when conservative Christians start losing their children? And I just replied to him and said, to what? Rock and roll? What's the thing? Help me out here, fella. What's coming down the pike that I don't know about?
That one didn't age quite so well.